Hi, Professor. This is my audience. This is my mom and my sister. There you go. So, hello, class. My name is Brett Tazura, and today I'll be going over an article summary today, and it relates to Chapter 9, which is Management Strategy. To start off, to define strategic management, it is what managers do to develop the organization strategies. It is an important task involving all the basic management functions: planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. So this article goes over businesses and starting to innovate and use different strategies to expand and become more successful. This directly relates to different types of management strategies outlined throughout this chapter. During this article, I noticed they discuss the strategic management process, which is outlined throughout our chapter. And this is a 6-step process that encompasses strategic planning, implementation, and evaluation. This is how companies in this article would evaluate the different type of strategies and adjust as necessary, whether it's doing good or poorly. A lot of companies are starting to realize that this is important to create and develop innovative business models. A lot of these businesses are using corporate strategy, which is also outlined in Chapter 9 and used in this article. Another way this article relates to Chapter 9 is outlined as growth strategy. A lot of top executives in this article are using this method because they are trying to expand into different markets so they can branch in different customer segments that they haven't tapped into yet. So they're just trying to expand their market and become more successful. And with today's business field always changing and adapting, companies need to always be able to change and adapt to what is going on. Another way this article relates back to Chapter 9 is these companies using a strategy called competitive advantage. This is what sets an organization apart. This is what gives them their distinctive edge from one company to another. This edge can come from the organization's core competencies by doing something that others cannot. This is where all the different strategies come into play. By using these strategies, these companies and top executives can stand apart and create a name for themselves. This is basically how they get customers like you and I to shop there. And also, as you can tell, technology is becoming a huge part of today's business world. Social media is being used as a part of today's technology. Social media is also a way to grow a company in a very short amount of time. What I've noticed is that companies that use social media are far more successful than companies that don't use social media. Social media is how companies grow and relate to customers now, because a lot of times people order online and social media is a way for them to communicate. For example, if you order a pair of sandals on Dick's, which I did one time, and they came in the wrong size and you tweet them, they will message you separately and they will send you out a new pair of flip-flops. You send them your order number and they get you them as soon as possible. This is an example of how social media is becoming a big part of companies nowadays. And for example, companies that are starting to use a competitive edge or embracing innovation are seeing 15% growth compared to companies that don't use innovation or adapting to today's business world with technology, innovation, and stuff like that. So also throughout this article, you can see that companies are starting to do an external analysis, which is when companies will try to find opportunities and also threats. External analysis, they'll try to find opportunities that they haven't tapped into yet, maybe a new market or a new customer base that they haven't seen yet, and also threats. They'll try and say there's a pizza place and another pizza place opens across the street, and their prices are about the same or maybe lower. They'll try and create a competitive edge where they'll get their customer base back and try and keep their customers with them instead of having them go across the street to the other pizza place. And this is how these businesses stay on top of things so they can eliminate threats and capitalize on opportunities, like I mentioned earlier in this presentation. So all in all, this article that the author outlined different types of strategies that are also outlined throughout the Chapter 9 of our textbook. I believe I went over all the information and showed how this article correlates to managing strategy. And I appreciate everyone listening, and thank you. And then I'm going to show you that my audience is still here. So this is my audience professor. I appreciate you listening to this.